Let's face it, video is probably the most important communication medium that you have available at your disposal to get your message out into the world in a much bigger way. Now, the key thing to remember is that when you use online video, that the video quality is as high as possible, because subconsciously your audience equates the quality of your video with the quality of your advice, with the quality of your information, with the quality of your clinical care. And so it's one of the things that you have control over. Now, a lot of people that have invested in a Brio 4K camera or a similar camera like that complain that they're either too orangey or the color is off, or they're too bleached out, they're too white, that obviously affects how they're seen. And so the issue there is really that you have to have a way to adjust the exposure and the color temperature of your camera. And this is really what the Logitech camera settings app does for you. So I'll show you how to download this and how to adjust the setting and how this affects your video, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's on StreamYard, whether it's going directly live on Facebook with your webcam. Now, I don't want to downplay the importance of great audio. In fact, audio is probably even more important than video quality, because you can always put additional video footage and B-roll across your audio. But if you have bad audio quality, you're dead in the water. And so we use the Snowball, the Blue Snowball with a pop filter. This microphone is a USB microphone, plugs directly into your PC or Mac, and it's about $70 to $80. So great investment. And the pop filter here is preventing from popping sound messing with your audio. So that's what we use for audio. Let's get into the camera settings app and what you need to do. First thing you do is go to the logitech.com website, and you can choose your country settings here. And then you go to the support tab, and under support, you click on downloads. And so this gets you to the download section. And then you have a number of options, and then you just click here on download and apps. And then you scroll down here to camera settings. This is the app, and you can see here that it auto detects my operating system, but you can see that there's versions for Windows and there's versions for Mac. So you would just download this and then install it. Once you have downloaded it and installed it, you can then click the app, and you can see here, this is the app, how it looks like on a Mac. And normally when you first start out, it has you here as standard and the default settings. So usually I go with widescreen. So that's the 16:9 aspect ratio that most online video has. And then I usually zoom in here digitally. So now I'm nicely framed up. So this is the first part. I usually pick NTSC 60 Hertz and a 90-degree field of view. So that's these settings here. And obviously make sure that you have HDR turned on. Now, the key part here is the advanced settings. So you can see here is where you can adjust the brightness. So this is the part when you have your lights on, maybe you have newer ring lights and you're too overexposed, you're too white. This is where you adjust this, and usually 50% is down right the middle, and then you can reduce it. So that's part one. I usually like to punch up the contrast a little bit, so I go to 60% for all my videos, and that just makes it a little bit sharper. And then here is the color intensity. Now, again, you can make this a little bit more orangey. So if your videos come out too orangey, you can dial down the color intensity and dial this a little bit back. Again, 50% is the default setting. And then you have auto white balance. So let's say if you didn't have auto white balance enabled, it could be that your camera is a little bit more like this, or maybe it's a little bit too much like this, right? So again, this allows you to automatically set this up, and then you can leave it at a certain color temperature, in this case 6320 Kelvin, and you can turn this off, and that way you're locking this in and you don't have the color temperature change on you. Also, you can adjust autofocus, so when you're going in there, it adjusts automatically, but this sometimes can be weird when you have hand gestures and the camera starts focusing on your hand. So once you're in focus, you can just turn this off, and now essentially you have your video quality locked in. It looks good. Now, this is what I usually do before I actually get on camera. You can even digitally move your camera rather than moving your camera. You can sort of show what's the, how do I want to show up on camera. So let's say if you're wide angle, there's too much space over your head. Obviously now you can't move around. It's only when you zoomed in that you can then select which part of the screen you want to zoom in and arrange yourself perfectly. So again, if you're too far to the right, left, you can move yourself around. And so I want to show you what this looks like on Zoom. So I'm now opening a Zoom meeting, which you see now on the right. And again, just to recap, this camera settings app is for all your video applications. So it's for Zoom, whether webinar or meetings. It's for StreamYard Facebook Lives. It's for going live directly in a Facebook page or group. So wherever your computer uses a video, this is what the app changes. So you can see here is now on the right hand side, my Zoom settings. And again, when you have the camera set up, there's nothing you can do in Zoom. There's no other settings. So you can see here, if I change the brightness here on the left hand side in the settings app, it affects the settings in Zoom. So, so far you're probably using your camera just with Zoom and you see the example on the right and there's nothing you can do. How do I switch it? How do I change it, right? Well, the magic is really the camera settings app that allows you to do it. Now, couple bonus tips that I want to give you. Normally when you record with Zoom, for your maybe videos for YouTube, what you can do here on Zoom is you just say I do want to have maybe a virtual background. You can enable it, and then I record on this computer, and that's gives you the highest quality video to upload to YouTube and other applications. So don't record it in the cloud. That automatically creates a lower quality version, so make sure you record it on your computer. And again, what I know is that when I export a video from Zoom to my desktop and then upload it into YouTube, it usually bleaches me out. And so what I do is here with the color intensity, I usually punch this up to 53%. So I'm a little bit too orange in the Zoom recording. And when you have the video on your desktop, but then when you take that video and upload it to YouTube, then the color balance is perfect. So that's just a little hack, and you may want to figure out what that setting is. Maybe go with 54% for the color intensity, and that again helps you that the videos, if they are on YouTube, come out great. Now, if you go straight from uploading the video into Facebook, then keep this at 50%, because what you see on your desktop is really the version what you see on Facebook. And so now let's say I'm recording here, and then once I'm done, I essentially click stop, and it will say the recorded file will be converted to MP4 when the meeting ends. So now you have to end the meeting in Zoom, and you get now a message here, converting meeting recording. So now you have to wait for this to render, and once it's done rendering, then you get prompted to give it a file name and save that MP4 file, and that's now the file that I use for my online video. Now sometimes I take that, you can see here's the file. It puts it usually into a Zoom folder in your documents folder, but you can now rename it so you understand what it is, and maybe even drag this video on your desktop so you can easily find it. But that's step one to get great quality video and get the most out of your Brio 4K camera. So I trust this video was helpful so that you can finally get to the bottom of the color and video issues that may have been plaguing you. If you want to get deeper into how to get the most out of video, I encourage you to download our ultimate video guide. It's the guide on what equipment we recommend and what we've tested, where you find it. It's about how to do the camera setup, how to use tripods, lighting, and all this other stuff. We talk about how to use the teleprompter and the setup for this, so that if you have sales video, how you can get the most out of that. And then finally, we talk about how to get the most energy into your video and how to use hand gestures to help you be more animated on camera. So all of this is available for free. The link is below this video, and it's our contribution to our ecosystem to help more practitioners get their message out in a much bigger way, to come across as powerfully as you can on video, and ultimately help more people get the care they deserve. So if you haven't yet downloaded this guide, simply find the link below this video. And if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to click the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified whenever new videos go live. And thanks for watching.